Hi guys, in this review I'll be looking at the Tbox Max or Tbox Ambient from CarlinKit. This is CarlinKit's latest update to the Tbox, which features an Android 13 base OS with over-the-air upgradability. It also comes with Qualcomm 6125 chipset, 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. In the box you get a small paper manual. There is the CarlinKit Tbox Max itself. You get a USB-A to USB-C cable to power the adapter from your CarPlay port, and there's also a USB-C to USB-C power cable for more modern CarPlay ports. Size-wise, it's pretty much the same as the CarlinKit AI boxes, all but a little bit chunkier. It has a USB-C port to power it on one side, and alongside it we have a mini SD card slot for storage up to 28GB, and on the other side of the USB port there's a SIM card slot to provide internet to the AI adapter. On paper it's very similar to their beefed up Tbox Plus, with an addition of an ambient light exterior. So let's get this box installed and see how well it performs. Boot up time takes around 30 to 31 seconds, with a short animation clip before resting on its main menu interface. Its main menu interface features a persistent side dock with the last 4 running apps displayed in the middle of the side dock, time, status indicators, and a shortcut to go home or launch the app overview menu. The rest of the home screen features a large panel for accessing your favorite map application. You can also customize this main side panel to any app that you have pre-installed, so you don't necessarily have to run it for maps. You can have it for YouTube, calling, and any other apps that you desire. On the top right there's a now playing widget panel, and on the bottom right there's 4 shortcuts which can be customized to quickly access your most favorite 4 apps. The Tbox Max features the same user interface and settings as the previous models, in that it has its own bespoke settings screen, as well as being able to dive down into the Android OS settings screens too. From here you can access its new unique option to change the ambient LED that features on the top of the casing. However, unlike some other adapters that I've tried with an RGB lighting, options here are quite few. From here there's also the ability to change the main menu interface between 2 different styles. However, both do look quite dated now, and I would prefer that CarlinKit invest some time to modernize their main menu interface going forward. This box now also does over-air updates, so you can keep this box up to date with latest revisions, and with fingers crossed possibly Android OS updates too. All the usual apps can be expected here, from Bluetooth, messaging, maps and APK installers through to YouTube, Netflix and Spotify. Just like other CarlinKit adapters, YouTube runs just great with audio in sync, all but it does display in its mobile format, which can be a little bit clunky to navigate. Netflix app also runs just as well with audio in sync, and its onboard CPU and RAM helps with navigating its content smoothly and more rapidly than others. The CPU inside also allows for some decent ability to play some games on your CarPlay display. My test games, Crossy Road, Subway Surfer and a few others, ran very well, with the RAM allowing you to launch some apps with some good launch times. And with dual Bluetooth support you do have the ability to add a Bluetooth remote or Bluetooth controller, which makes playing games a lot more easier and more fun with these Bluetooth controllers. Plugging in a SD card of up to 256GB expands your storage for various uses, from apps to media, so you can play back your favorite films or music without the need to give the adapter any form of internet connection. Video playback using this method seems good, with no degradation during high bitrate video files, and audio is also in sync. Firing up wireless Apple CarPlay can take up to 10 seconds using the adapter's pre-installed AutoKit app. Wireless CarPlay performs well as expected, whilst touch input can be fairly responsive. A nice addition to this model that while CarPlay is running, its content is also mirrored in the now playing panel on the home screen. My first connection to Android Auto wasn't as successful, but on a restart everything ran as expected. Boot up into Android Auto can take up to around 8 seconds. Resolution on Android Auto is a little bit better than some Android AI boxes, keeping ratios and resolution that mirrors the same as if you were using wired. Various interactions and touch input is a little bit more laggy than CarPlay, but not too drastic enough to make it unusable. Just like many other AI box adapters, the AutoKit app has quite limited settings compared to other dedicated wireless adapters. There is wireless auto connect option should you have multiple devices, and the ability to increase your microphone volume during calling. Compared to other AI adapters that are selling today, its user interface is a little bit dated now and could do with some modernizing. Its persistent side dock is lacking a back button, and without this it does make navigation between apps a little bit frustrating, as you do have to go back to the home screen to go back to another app. The floating button that you can turn on and off can get around this, but that does also mean that you do now have a rather frustrating floating button over the UI interface. So incorporating some sort of swiping back gesture, or remove one of the 4 icons in the side dock and reinstate a back button, just like some of the AI boxes, would totally solve this issue. However, it does work well and is relatively solid to use. It doesn't do any casting ability either, so that would have been a nice addition to this adapter. I don't like its focus on its RGB LED display. It feels like a token addition to sell another SKU model, and with its limited settings and options, you think it would have most of its focus in this area, but it doesn't. I wish it also had a faster CPU. Today, lots of Android AI boxes are now coming out with the Qualcomm 665 or 662 chipsets for at least around a year now, so I think manufacturers should start to adopt a much faster CPU now in this next generation, which gives existing AI box owners a reason to upgrade. So this leads me to 5 things I like about the Tbox Max. I like its relatively low price versus performance. You do get a lot for your money. Although its UI isn't the most visually impressive, it is the most robust and it does the job well. I like that you don't have to rely on its floating button interface and you can have a persistent dock instead. I also like that it has a powerful CPU as well as fast RAM. So you've got fast boot up times and launches for apps and games, and I like that in apps such as YouTube and Netflix, audio is relatively in sync. The CarlinKit Tbox Max CarPlay AI box retails for around $200, and you can check out my links in the description down below to learn more about this adapter and support the channel when you buy one. Overall, it is a decent addition to the CarPlay AI box lineup, but you can say that it's very similar to the maxed out Tbox Plus that's already available, with the addition of the RGB lights. It carries the same CPU, so there's not much change there, and generally it benches very well on par with the Tbox Plus and scores very lightly in its app launch tests. It's one of the quickest to boot into CarPlay as well as Android Auto, so if you're after a fast AI box, this is one of the ones to beat. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Give us a thumbs up if it has, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this Tbox Max from CarlinKit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.